Now it has a rigid structure which is easy to use, but each phase has review process. Okay, this means that, see, it is very simple to use this type of model in the IT industry. And also over there, what will happen if you know that you cannot revisit any of the phases, means you are going to review it again and again, and then only after making sure that this phase is completed, all the things are done properly, then only you are going to move on to the next phase. Okay, so you are going to review your work, and it is good for small projects. Why it is good for small projects and why not for big projects? See, because in big projects, it is generally seen that the clients, they usually come up with some of the other requirements. Okay, they come up with some modifications every time. Okay, they are coming up with some modifications. They are asking for adding the requirements. Okay, so at that moment of time, this type of model, it is not beneficial. If you are developing, or if you are developing a software for a very small project, for small projects, then only this type of model it is useful. So the main disadvantage is this only, that it is not applicable for big projects. Okay, wherein wherein the clients, they are demanding some modifications or for some enhanced request. Okay, so for at that moment, this type of model, it is not useful. So this is the major drawback of this waterfall model. Okay. Okay, so this is all about the waterfall model. Anyone has any question regarding this model? Hello? Yes, Kumar?
Hi. One question we have here on the screen, you say waterfall model. It is the rigid structure which is easy to use. How it is easy to use, and why the others are not easy to use?
See, why it is rigid structure means you cannot change anything. Okay.
Yeah, I got that. But you were saying it's easy to use.
Yeah, easy to use. Let me just come to that point. It has a rigid structure means you cannot change any of the things, and it is easy to use because in this way only you study about the things. Okay, how to develop a software, you are studying the same phases. Okay, you have studied the phases, that after the scope identification I should go for the planning, then I should go for the analysis and all. So you have used it, or you have already it is in your mind that you have to follow this. After this stage should be there. After the scope identification, I should follow the analysis or the design phase only. Okay, and after development only the testing should come on. So these all things are inputted in our mind from the very beginning. So that is why it is easy to use, wherein you'll come to know that when you are using Agile, there are some modifications and there are some other things. Over there, you would be able to distinguish between the things, that why it is said it is easy to use. Okay, then let me ask you this question. Once we are completed with this Agile model and the Scrum, okay, then I'll come back to you and ask you the same question. Okay.
Okay.
Anyone else? Okay. So this was about the waterfall model, and see, this type of model, as I told you, it is used for small projects. Okay, and secondly, this type of model, it is now not being used in a very wide markets. Okay, the reason why it is not being used in very wide markets, or it is not acceptable by the clients, they don't agree that you should use the waterfall model to develop their software. The reason is very simple. See, nowadays the market is changing a lot. Okay, and every client wants that their product or their software should release first. Okay, if you are developing, see, as you are using the smartphones, so there are some of the apps which are, there are some apps which are in the iPhones also, okay, and there are the same apps with different names or with some or the other, just with minor change in the functionality, they are also in the other phones. Okay, so every time every client wants to release some or the other things, and they want that our software should get released first. So in this competitive world, everyone wants that their software should come first. The reason is, whichever software is going to come first into the market, the people are going to use that software. Okay, they are going to adapt that thing first. Now in that case, this waterfall model, it won't be a good option to take on, because once the clients, they are doing the survey of the markets, so after, suppose say they have given me some requirements, okay, and after that they come up with the things, after doing the survey they come up that okay, now the set of requirements that I have given you, I need to do some modifications on those requirements. And suppose say I am in the middle of development with the requirements, with the set of requirements that they have given me previously. Now if they will come up to me and they will ask me to do some modifications, then it becomes very much difficult, if you are following the waterfall model, to accept those changes. Okay, so this is why this waterfall model, it is not being used nowadays very much over there. So the model that is being used nowadays is the agile methodology. You must have come across this word, agile methodology, or you can say the agile model. Now what happens over here is, see, as I told you, the phases would be the same, only there would be some minor changes in using the phases. So what is happening over here is, firstly, the requirements, they are taken by the business analyst from the clients. Okay, then the scope identification, or you can say the scope is being decided. Now what over here scope means is, if you are taking the requirement from the client, and if the client wants early release, okay, and suppose say, just let us take a very simple example. The client wants, he has given me a set of say 20 requirements, okay, and he wants the software to be released into the market after 15 days. Okay, now is it possible that you are going to complete all the the set of 20 requirements in 15 days and deliver the software to him? It is actually not possible. So what we will do from our side, we will tell him our scope, that see, out of these 20 requirements, we will prioritize the requirement, okay, and we'll tell him that we are going to deliver a set of say 5 requirements which are priority wise in the high priority. We are going to deliver these set of 5 requirements to you, okay, and this is our end scope for this release. Okay, so over here the scope is decided after the requirements are given by the client. Then the scope is being decided with the mutual thing of client and the industry people. Okay, they mutually decide that okay, this requirement is important, so we are going to deliver this set of 5 requirements early. So that would be there in the release 1 portion. Okay, now once the scope is decided, the end scope is decided, then you go to that module. Okay, then once the module is done, means the architect is being used over here. He is going to create the blueprint of in-scope functionalities which you have to deliver in this release. After the architect, he has created the design, then the development team will come into the scene. They will develop the software. Once the software is being developed, then they are going to do some internal testing in the team only. Okay, so that is nothing but the testing team would be involved and they are going to do the testing. Now once the testing is done, if suppose say while testing they come across any errors, so they would again ask the testing team, they would again ask the development team to rectify those defects. Okay, so again the development team would be coming into the scene. Now once the bugs are rectified, the things are done properly, then you are going to release it to the client. That functionalities, those set of functionalities, 5 functionalities, are going to be delivered to the client side. Now when the things are delivered to the client side, this does not mean that they are being used by the users. Okay, I'm saying that it is being delivered to the client. Now do you remember that we have discussed what is the difference between the client and the end user? Anyone wants to tell me what is the difference between the client and the end user? Yes, Kumar?
Hi, end user is the one that is going to eventually use the product. That's, you can say, a member of the public. The client is the one who is the reason to provide that software to the public. So actually,
Yeah.
that's what the client.
See, the client is the one who wants software to be built for his company, and the end users are the people who are going to use that software. Okay, so once the software is being made or it is being developed, okay, then it is delivered firstly to the client before giving it to the end users. Okay, now the client is going to test the software, that whether it is working properly or not. Okay, if it is working properly, then he will give it a sign off. Okay, if it is not working properly, those set of 5 requirements, they are not working properly, then again it will go to the same phases. Again the development team has to come into the scene and have to develop it, then the testing would be done. Okay, then again it is being delivered to the client, until and unless, this means that until and unless the client would test it and he is satisfied with the product, he won't be releasing the software or he won't be releasing the thing to the market, to his end users. Okay, so if he says that the software is okay to be delivered, if it is yes, then again you are going to the requirement phase, wherein you are left with 15 requirements. See, do you remember that in the first release we have just released some 5 requirements? Okay, now depending upon those 15 requirements which were pending, now see over here the clients, he is getting some space if he wants from 15 requirements which are remaining over there. Okay, now if he wants to modify some of the requirements, then he can do so. Okay, and if he wants to add some of the requirements over there, then again he can do so. Whereas in the waterfall model, in the previous model that we have discussed, he is not getting that space to modify or to change, or you can say to add any of the functionalities. Okay, because if the software is released with some 5 requirements, again when it is being released into the market, he is going to get some feedback from his end users. Okay, and depending upon that feedback, he is going to, either he may change the requirements or he may ask us for some another requirements or anything that he wants. So over here we can give him the authority to modify or to change the things. Then again we are again going to reprioritize the requirements. Okay, again we are going to take up some 5 or 10 requirements depending upon the time which we are getting to release the software. Okay, according to the schedule. So again we are going to reprioritize the requirement. Once the prioritization is done, again you have to go to the same phase. The architect has to create the blueprint of those requirements. Then the development team would be coming to develop the code, then the testing would be done. Okay, so these all things are going to continue until and unless all the requirements are being delivered to the client. Okay, now after the things are completed, all modules are completed, then if you want some support, you can give some support. That is, support is nothing but the maintenance. Okay. Okay, and nowadays this Agile methodology, it has become very much popular. The reason is very simple, because it provides your user, or you can say your customer, the ease to launch the software quickly into the market, and with the new type of technology, and he is getting the feedback from the customers, from his customers, or you can say from the end users. So depending upon those feedbacks, he can change the requirements if he wants to do so, or he can enhance the requirements. Okay, so this is why this methodology is used nowadays. Are we clear with this thing? Anyone has any question regarding this agile methodology? Okay, so if you don't have any question regarding this thing, then let me just ask you that. Okay, Kumar, you are having Samantha, you are having a question. Okay. Yes, Kumar.
No, let somebody else have it, because I don't want to keep on question all the time. Somebody else is there. If not, then I will come.
Okay. Yes, Samantha.
Yeah, I want to know exactly in detail how the agile methodology is going to be implemented in the real working environment.
Okay, I'll give you a real scenario. Okay, let us take the example of a Gmail application. Okay, now if suppose a client is coming up to me and he wants all these functionalities in the Gmail, he wants login, okay, then he wants the inbox functionality, then the trash module should be there, then sent, junk, and some important then after that the logout is the important functionality. What else do we have in Gmail? Okay, there are the functionality for flags also. Okay, and he wants that the user should be able to log out properly. Okay, so these all things he want me to create in a in some 10 days. Okay, because he wants to release this software with all these functionality, so that his competitor is not releasing it earlier than him, so he wants it to be released. Now if he comes up to me and asks me that see, this type of software I want to build, wherein the people should be able to create their account and they should get their mails, they should be able to send mails also, and there should be all these things also, okay, over there. So what I'll suggest him, if I'm following the agile methodology, and for the suppose say for the very first time this type of something is coming into the market, wherein they would be, the end users would be using it for the very first time, some mail things. Okay, so if this thing is coming into the market for the very first time, so what I will suggest him, see, instead of delivering the whole things at one go, what we will suggest him, that over here the login is the important module. Okay, because the people should be able to log in into the things, they should be able to see their inbox. Okay, this is one important functionality. And sent item, this is an important functionality, they should be able to send their mails. Okay, and then they should be able to log out properly, so that no one else could